video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Production services by Sidekick Media Services. And listeners like you, supporting us at patreon.com/awesomecast. It's time to get geeky, get awesome. It is the AwesomeCast. I'm Mike Sorg at Sorgatron on Twitter here in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And with me, first of all, from Studio Duds in the greater Pittsburgh area, social media person extraordinaire, the Dudders is with us.
Oh, hi, friends.
Hello. Welcome back.
From the Dudsville.
From the and from Studio C in the Big D, Dormont, Pennsylvania, it is John Chichilla.
How goes it?
Good. Oh no, I did the sound thing.
Oh, I heard something. That's never. That sounds never good.
There was something I was going to set up before the show here that I need to because we have another Zoom computer, and I'm trying to get it to do the right thing. So but we'll fix that here in a second. But anyways, I forget how to pin you guys in Zoom. Oh well, we'll just play with this. It is the AwesomeCast. I'm not. Did I say my name? Yeah, I did that part of the intro. We are. But what am I doing? Hey, we do our awesome things a week. We're going to talk geeky things. We're going to talk awesome things. We're going to talk nerdy things here. So let's get into our awesome things of the week. And hello, if you're joining us in the chat live here every Tuesday at 7 o'clock, all over the AwesomeCast, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and even we're over on the Instagrams as well, if I hit this go live button. So who would like to go first on the awesome things?
I'll go. Let's talk about therapy.
Okay.
So an app, Replica, is introducing an AI. It's text therapy and guided meditations. And it's pretty cool. And what it is essentially it learns, you have a conversation and I'm not really familiar with, I've never actually done any sort of like text therapy. My therapy is always like person to person. But like it follows those lines where essentially it gets to know you. It asks you like what's going on, like what are your fears, what are your concerns, and then it kind of guides you to different meditations, suggestions to how like personal growth, like just things and practices that you can kind of introduce into your life to help you with what's bothering you at that moment. And it's really cool because there's also like the meditation. You feel like you're submerged in this beautiful area. And which will partner not too long in the near future with our very lovely Apple Vision Pro. But yeah, so right now this is available through Apple. And how much was it? Sorry. You try it for 3 days free, and it's $7.99 a week or $49.99 per year. It's called Tomo. Sorry, I totally just glazed over what it was called because I thought this was so cool. Like, I think it's just such a neat way to make therapy and these tools more accessible to folks. And I think that's so important right now. Even like tools to help you cope with just like the world. It's just, I think it's helpful. And then the price range, like $50 a year is not bad. That's less than a therapy session.
Yeah, it's a little more accessible, right? To be able to get into these ideas, right? So it's more than a meditation app. It feels like this is like if we took Fiction Without Bait, made a generative AI out of all the transcripts, would be something like this, right? A little more than that, but those kinds of concepts, I guess, are being applied here, right?
Yes. And like they say they don't share information with third parties. Like that's one of the concerns with these like text-based therapy apps is like what information is being shared about you. And there's like no HIPAA because it's a text app, not like an actual doctor or psychiatrist or But yeah, so like I like this as another option, and it sounds like the meditation's very calming too. And like I said, the tools to cope right now are so important with everything that we're trying to get through in our just day-to-day lives right now, and I think that's awesome.
The biggest hang up for me has been figuring out the meditation. Like the closest I get is I do the mindful cool downs that do include, and I like doing the 10-minute ones because they do have a little more extended meditation a lot of the times. Like that's the closest I get. I don't do the one on the watch. I don't do anything on that. I think it's just because my life is not quiet enough to take time for it or something like that, right? If you got roommates, if you have a partner, if you have kids, especially, I don't know how you position that time or something like that. And in Chile, I don't know if you've experimented with meditation in your definitely busy life where you're apparently gallivanting across the country as well.
I've never done the meditation route. I used for quite some time like the exercise routine as the stress reliever, but typically that was wedged in either late at night or in the wee hours of the morning.
Yeah.
I preferred it at night because it gave me kind of like that little bit of awakening boost to just keep going for a few more hours after the workout. I've never been one to be kind of tired after a workout, more energized. So I liked it then, but then again, I'm a night owl. So
yeah,
but never went the heavy meditation route.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice that the guy that is there. I don't think I've actually even gone through the Apple one. Right, and it bugs you every day. Like I get the notification every day, and I haven't since I've had a Series 3, and just never really kind of jumped into it. So, but this
I did the breathing thing, but
yes,
that's pretty short.
A little bit of that.
That's like 2 minutes.
Yeah, but even that's like, go ahead.
I was gonna say I use Headspace because I paid for it. And that's the only, and like the one I previously been using, I liked much better, but that app went away. You know, the dangers of apps just disappearing.
Yeah.
And I hate that.
This is why Wellatory keeps bugging me to pay $400 for a lifetime subscription. I think I paid $100 for a year, and I was like, I don't know, you're going to be around a year. You know, there's at least that dry weather one that stopped working, and my subscription just came up for renewal, and I'm like, no. So, and I was like, probably a $30 thing or something, but still, you know, it's like I'm not putting in this. Like, I don't know who you are. You know, sorry, I interrupted.
Oh no, you're fine. But no, that's the thing is like, do you spend the money on the app when it goes bye-byes? For a lifetime? But like I've moved over to Headspace because I tried it out and forgot to cancel before. And I do not do well with Headspace because I don't it doesn't fit with what I'm looking for. There's a lot more I don't know. Like I think sometimes it's harder to find what specifically like the other place I would put in my feelings and then like, oh here, this might help you out. And this is more of like, here's some suggestions throughout your day. And I'm like, need more.
Yeah, but you're not integrating them, right? Like Wellatory does that. Hey, you should consider this, and you should play music. Here, listen to this 10-minute thing about breathing, or this idea, or something like that. I'm just like, I'm not even what? You know, I'm stressed because I don't have time to do things. And you're giving me more things that take time to do things. Like that's not helping me in this situation. So, it is. I mean, they're helpful. My FitnessPal has been really good for about food logging. I've been back into that. I'm not paying for them anymore, but once again, you know, I discovered they link into my Wellatory, so it's getting that information on what I'm eating, and it does help me just pay attention more. Right, that I have been able to slide in, and sometimes it's like, oh, it was a busy weekend. What did I do Friday to eat? You know, just so I was in there. You know, at least have a general idea. Maybe I'm not grabbing the drinks or something like that, or the coffees. The God knows what's in this Dunkin' Donuts. You know, is not getting into my system, but I still have that food idea, right? So like these are apps that we've been playing with. Like you probably use the Headspace too, like for several years. You know, you know, I think we've been all been our health journeys post COVID. So for one reason or another, you know, some more severe than others here on this panel. So, it's a long road. You get in the app and think it's going to make a life change right away is you know, but as long as you're making baby steps and. You know, are you a couple years later better off than you were before, right? So, so this replica is interesting. I think it is for somebody thinking about therapy. I know it jumping into getting a therapist is scary as hell to me as a concept, you know. But you know, it just feels like a lot, and the other people I know have wanted or needed some for a while and never have, and maybe this is a good starting point for them to at least get some of those concepts. If they get some DBT, get some self-awareness, you know, just started, right? So that's Replica.
Yeah, it's Tomo by Replica.
Oh, Toma by Replica. Excuse me.
Yeah, I totally went into just. I was excited about the word replica. I was like, "That's cool."
Which kind of scares me a little bit. So go check that out. Oh, no, I'm in a different thing. Oh no, wow, I got in a whole different article about.
Ooh.
Oh, I think there's a deep article about this company or something. It says Speak Memory, when her best friend died, she rebuilt using artificial intelligence. What the hell?
Which it would be interesting, like, right, if
on?
you throughout your entire life you were working with like an AI from a therapy perspective, it's probably going to know enough about you to kind of mimic you. So you could kind of upload.
I don't know, maybe having, you know, almost 900 episodes of at least one podcast and everything else you've done could be enough to upload and do the same thing too. So I know.
But you don't talk about, like, I feel like in a therapy session, you're opening up a lot more than just the conversation.
That would be like the public personality would be captured, but is the private personality captured at that point, right? So, but is it like, have you been writing a journal? Have you been doing this? There's a lot of things. Probably a lot of things in our heads that have never been put down on paper, digital, or anything like that. So that is just all still a mystery to anything and anybody. So yeah, you'd really have to get into something like that. So
do you think we could replace you as a podcast host if we uploaded all of the information?
That's what I'm curious. At some point, there's gonna be a thing where you can just like, I'm hoping there's something we can point like an RSS feed at. It'll digest all the podcasts and just like. Although it'll probably just be one person in the end that encompasses us all is the reality of it. So, like, you're just gonna have one podcast personality that does video, loves Dunkin' Donuts and cats, and has, you know, loves Iron Man. You know, like, you know, all that together in one Malagram person or something like that. So. Which will just have
an Iron Man suit that's Hello Kitty. That's what I'm picturing.
Also,
I've seen those.
Yeah, it has to be out there, right? So, I don't know. We'll see where that goes. So, Tomo Replica. I think I got the words right on that one. You can go check that out and let us know if that helps you out. So, Chilla, you are tricking out your deck. Is the note I have here for your awesome thing?
So, over the holiday, and I got it. Both pieces on a discount. So for the Steam Deck, now this only applies to the older non-OLED Steam Deck, but I got replacement front panel. You'll notice the glowing RGBs.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
The RGBs are actually from the back replacement. Whoa.
Yeah, the zooms have been pretty great on that. Actually.
So, but the interesting thing, it was quite the learning experience taking apart the Steam Deck. I will say, replacing the back of the Steam Deck is like if it takes you 15 minutes, it probably took you 7 minutes too long. It's literally like 4 screws. Take it off. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 screws. Pull it off. Put the new one on. Put the 8 screws back in. The front, on the other hand, I would not recommend it if you haven't taken stuff apart before.
Okay.
They do have a step-by-step video on how to replace it, but it includes like heating up the LCD screen
I'm
and
out.
using like a credit card type device to pry it, to break up the glue to get it off.
No,
And then they give you glue strip replacement.
Sponger or whatever it's called whenever you do stuff at iFixit for Apple devices. Sponger.
Yeah, they give you
spooger?
they give you the suction cup. They give you. I will tell you
Jeez.
this: it's a 40-ish minute, I think, video, for the front panel replacement. It is 110% step by step. It is, detaching ribbon cables. There's the suction cup there. If you go back to that picture of all the stuff that comes with it.
Yeah.
Like they give you all the screwdrivers, they give you the tweezers, they give you everything you would possibly need. And the cool thing that they actually give you is they give you a tray for all of the parts to go in as you're taking it apart. And they give you all of the replacement screws. So you actually don't need to keep track of anything that you're taking out from a screw perspective.
You could throw it away and that's okay.
You could throw it away. You can drop it on the floor and lose it. Whatever. And they walk you through and everything's labeled. The kit is very, very good. It's make sure if you're going to do this and you've never done this kind of stuff before, like how you lift the little thing to get ribbon cables out, or how you pry off certain pieces of tech. If you've done anything like replace a video card in a computer or, install a new hard drive, you're going to be okay. But go slow and watch the video.
I like it.
I would say the hardest part for me, or the most fearful part for me, was prying off the LCD screen.
That scares the crap out of me. That scares the absolute crap out of me. So this is looks like it's 2 parts, right? You have a $30 front piece and you have a $35 the back piece to this, right? With the LEDs that you were talking about.
And the front comes in clear brown, clear crystal, or purple. And the back in the RGB variant comes in purple, clear, and brown as well.
So you got to mix and match and however you'd like to there for the situation.
The cool thing about the back panel with the RGB lights is it has its own battery and its own USB-C port in the back. So it's not like it's drawing off your battery power or anything.
Oh, that's nice. Yep. And you have your heat flow. Fantastic. Cool. So for me, my awesome thing is I watched Beekeeper for a second time. Have you seen about this movie, Beekeeper? I don't think you guys probably haven't watched it yet, right?
So I know about it. Haven't watched it.
You know
I
about it.
I have not watched it.
Okay. So it's a Jason Statham movie. He's a beekeeper. He's a badass. He's from a government agency that you've never heard of. That's out there protecting you. But he's of course retired, and he's back out of retirement, as you will. But anyways, I was okay. I was kind of stretching for something this week, but I thought it was kind of interesting because the more I thought about it, I also heard a 15-minute retelling of the movie from somebody else on another podcast. So that really kind of put me over. It was like, okay, this movie is like it just seems like one of those like action Jason Statham movies, kind of things, right? And it is. But I thought it was fun because this movie, of course, is going to be that thing that's on every Sunday afternoon on USA Network or TNT for for 10 years, right? And just like Fast and the Furious and all those kinds of things. Like its position, it feels like one of those things. But it is also it's a cautionary tale about computer scams and our older loved ones. So if you've seen the full trailer, you probably know the plot of this. So spoiler alert, just in case. Felicia Rashad is the mother in this thing. Jason Statham is like renting a place and is like the one that like cared for him, when he had nobody else and found a place to stay after he retired. And she goes in and the plot is she gets like one of those pop-ups, calls the number, they drain her bank account, including a $2 million educational fund, right? So, which leads to her apparently immediately committing suicide instead of responding to the fraud text on her phone. And hijinks ensue. Violent hijinks ensue. So there's that. So, but I thought it was interesting because I haven't seen this. I don't know. Maybe there's Law and Order episodes about this, but this seems to help the awareness that this is a real thing. Of course, it's probably a lot over glorified. Every call center that he blows up has a lot of neon lights, for instance, and are very cool looking. They're almost like rave parties, and there's a guy on a microphone yelling at people in a giant video screen situation. But still, like I just thought that was interesting that this is becoming. It's become an action movie plot point is the pop-up where my grandfather called called one of those companies and gave him his credit card to restore his computer kind of situation. So I know Katie, you and I we went through a thing the other night, and where you talked about how your mother has been trained well with these scams. And also like it seems like more and more family members are coming up with this problem too. One way or either they ran into and stopped, or unfortunately went a little further with it. So nothing like this movie I think is a little overburdened, but over the top. But I just think it's interesting that it's part of this, and like I said, it's going to be it's definitely going to be on like networks that people are flipping through and find on, and it's part of that conversation now as a cautionary tale. So at least like somebody out there will have seen the beginning of the Beekeeper and not respond and call the number on the pop-up. I hope so. Just a little, maybe too positive thinking, but I think that's helpful. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Have you seen anything like this in common media out there?
I can't think of any other like show or movie or anything that addresses it in that particular way. Mm-hmm. So that's definitely it's a thing it doesn't hurt to talk about, especially everybody you have family members, we talk about this, or even friends that are like it's so easy to get tricked at this point with everything that's coming out. And like I think it's great that I don't know, like I don't want to be like this is a great example of da-da-da, but you're right. I think it's great that this is a thing.
It's great that the conversation is happening, right? Mm-hmm. So, how about you, Chili? Have you seen this anywhere?
I haven't. I don't think I've seen this in particular. Like I see more on the identity theft or more in those realms.
Sure.
But this type of fraudulent activity is definitely real.
Yep.
I mean, you always hope that it's probably it's one of those things that like raising awareness, you can never try to raise enough awareness on topics like this. So absolutely. I applaud it. Now I'm interested in watching it because it's one of those things like, did they make it so far-fetched that, hey, this could never happen to me? Or was it a good blend? How do they balance that out?
I think the most far-fetched thing is, in partial spoilers here, that the call center was not international and everybody was in Massachusetts. Literally everything they followed was in Massachusetts. I'm like, man, no, what? No, like I know at least I have at least 2 family members in the last decade that have succumbed to one of these things, right? And it's like, that is a foreign call center. There is no way they're on American soil. That's part of the way that they get away with it, right? This is just like, it happens. And again, if you've seen the trailer, no real spoilers here. It happens. He drives to the facility, finds the facility through, his connections within the day, and blow it up, and then everybody else is in Boston. It was like, and they blow that up, and then I don't know where. I think they went to Florida or something for the final thing.
Did everybody get their money back?
No, nobody got their money back. Very explicitly, nobody got their money back, but there really wasn't a lot of people to get their money back at the end of it. So, and swerve, and you find out where the money's going and everything like that. It's a fun movie. It is a fun movie. So, but those fun conveniences.
I just like how you described it in the beginning, and then you're like, it's a fun movie.
It is a fun movie. It is. It's okay. Once you get past that, it's a fun action movie. It's a fun kicky punchy movie. On top of that,
Yeah.
after you're sad that Mrs. Cosby shot herself in the head, so so after that you're okay. So it really gets a lot of fun. Anyways, that's why you got to dress it up in the fun kicky punchy for the real message to happen, which is don't call a phone number that pops up on your screen ever, or in your email for that matter, right? Anyways, thank you to everybody, all of our smart people that have been following us for so long, and they've never fall for something like this, I'm sure. I hope they're educating their families on these things. But thank you to everybody that does follow the show here and support the show at patreon.com/awesomecast. We do like to put up some additional conversations, or just additional video of Chilla's wild camera moving all over the place as his chair moves and everything. So thank you to our friends at the Coffee Club level, Cynthia Klosky at the Fan of the Show level, Michael Fedor, Matt Weller, John Dickey DeGore, and Dave Podner, spousal Roost Jewelry Affair at roostjewelryaffair.com. And I know Dave has been contributing, and also oh no. This also has popped up. I don't know if you guys noticed, we've just gotten tagged on the Facebooks, and we'll pull that up over here. But the Hello Kitty Iron Man has been AI'd, and there you go.
Yeah, perfect.
There's our album cover. So. And show title probably too. And of course, we're live here every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern time. A note, I will be on the road. We do intend to have the regularly scheduled program. And I'm hoping somebody, I don't know if I got an answer. I was going to get somebody to push the buttons in the studio for me, so that I don't have to build a studio in a hotel room again. So anyways, what else do we want to get in here on? Katie, you had a item in here to hit on.
Ooh, okay. So
What's going on?
I don't know. Awesome, not so awesome thing. The CEOs of Meta, TikTok, Snap, X, and Discord are heading to Congress tomorrow to talk about kids' online safety hearing.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a controversial bill called COSA, and essentially this would change the protections for kids online. There's issues with exploitation of kids. It's like sexual predators. There's like fentanyl deals happening. I didn't realize how common that was, like on Snap. But like, white supremacist extremism, they talk about self-harm and suicide content, and like, especially with this Taylor Swift thing that just happened, with the deep fakes. This is something.
Can you explain what happened for those who don't know? Because I just discovered it, like yesterday.
So essentially, folks were creating very realistic looking videos and photos of Taylor Swift in horrible pornography type positions and involving the football game. It was awful. And I definitely did not do a thing where I wanted to see any bit of it, but there were folks talking about what they saw, and it was all over Twitter to the point, or X, to the point where they shut down her name. Mm-hmm. You couldn't even search for her name because it was just had gotten that out of control. So like, on top of this already being like hey, you're not doing enough for our kids, that blew up. And so now these like CEOs of these companies are going to have to like answer for like, what are you doing to protect the kids? Mm-hmm. And so like COSA stands for Kids Online Safety Act. And it's a controversial act because, who gets protections, like what is being protected? How does this impact like the LGBTQ community is concerned, with how, it's frustrating. I guess I want to say what's frustrating for me is how far tech has come, and we've not done anything proactive legally across the board. Mm-hmm. And like, we are just trying to figure out how we fix things that we should have had processes in place when social media started to blow up. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's just retroactive stuff that we're trying to like take down that it's I don't know, it's just frustrating to me, like I said, that this is like the conversation that's now happening when these things, like across the board, like even for adults, in like what social media has been able, the crappy stuff that's happened on social media.
It's so interesting because now then you also have, like, I think in the UK they're trying to pass a bill where if you want to watch porn, you have to go to a bar and give them your ID and credit card, or something like that. Like these big ham-fisted solutions to these things that aren't that eke into privacy and don't really solve the problem. So like yeah, so it feels like everything was open so they could get the mass, and now they have the mass. It's too big for anybody to control realistically. So where do we restrict? Where do we do that? Social media platforms that have shut down their entire trust and safety teams and decide they're going to start a new one of 100 people in Texas. That's probably not a suitable answer, right? So, but again, no, I'm glad there's a conversation. I worry about what the government will do about it that will screw other things up. Because
I'm sorry, and
go ahead, Sheldon.
I'm probably going to be the opposing downer on this one. Like,
go for it.
I think there comes a time where a parent needs to parent.
Absolutely.
And there needs to be oversight there.
Yes.
The problem is that no parent wants to say no and throw up all the child protection, or say, no, you can't be on TikTok or Snap or whatever. There's a reason that and I'm going to tell you both sides of my opinion on this, right?
Please.
There's a very probably good reason why there is a minimum age requirement, and I think it's 13, on the Meta Quest. I can tell you as a parent that his kid is not 13, and the work that you have to do to get around this stuff is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So all in all, like, I think you're either down a web of lies in some of these cases from a getting around loopholes or lying about, and I know tons of parents that do it, right? Everyone lies about their kid's age so they can get them on the platform. Now you have all these kids that are on a platform that they shouldn't have been on to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're trying to blame the platforms to say, what are you going to do about this?
Mm-hmm.
Now, and I kind of go back and forth. Like, I would much rather have to go to a physical location to provide my ID than scan my ID and also throw it into one of these media engines
yes.
where who knows what happens to my ID.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. Like, I think there's some onus that needs to be taken on the parent side. I think there needs to be additional things that the platforms can do. But when push comes to shove, we all sign up for these platforms knowing the good and the bad. And I mean, I've been kicked off of YouTube. I had to spend 2 hours to get my Quest working again, like, all in the name of trying to let my kid play a game or to be a part of something because the rest of the kids are.
Yeah, yeah. And that is one thing. This is all voluntary, right? By any of us, and yet you are responsible for what your kid is doing basically all the time as a parent. So like that's like, blaming television for putting terrible things on, but the parent bought the TV, right, and lets the kid do it. So like I'm with that. And there can be the conversation of, are they doing enough to help that process, right? Or are they just letting the fires burn? That is something. That is something. Like, are you actively putting people in danger by not doing anything and providing a platform where these happen? And again, we have the conversation with Fishing Without Bait about the good and bad in social media that comes up a lot. Hey, this is not good for people, but also good things happen. There's two sides of this, right? Any technology, there's going to AI. We've been having the conversation about AI back and forth, right? Hey, it's great we can do this stuff, but oh god, we can do this stuff too, and that's not good. Where do you put that guide rail on something like that, or just enforce the bad? you know,
But-
or
And I
against the
thought
bad.
one of the interesting things that I saw, because everybody seems to have a different age requirement,
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised. And the thing that got me in a little stuck over the holidays was trying to get Christopher on the Quest was not bad. The
Mm-hmm.
fact that we loaded Roblox and it did a reverse age check. Like Roblox must do some kind of handshake with Meta
Mm-hmm.
to say this is the age we have for this email address, and this is the age the person just put on the other platform for this email address.
Oh, that's neat.
And then I got an email saying that if I didn't respond, I got an email and a notification in the Quest app that if I didn't respond and fix this, my account was going to be frozen and suspended.
So I'd say they're doing some things there to make sure everything's okay.
They're
So
trying.
That one is, yes.
And then here, me as the parent, I'm trying to figure out every loophole to get around this thing.
Yeah, but also there should be a point where you say, I am a parent and I consent to this.
Mhm.
Right? Just like you can sign for somebody for, you sign for your kid when they go in for surgery, right? So
Yep.
like that kind of thing. So this is a very complicated, and all these things can be true. All the sides of this. Dave is bringing up, partner's bringing up in the chat room. Concern about social media and Congress is a lack of knowledge and using it to shut down minorities and their outreach. Yes, that can be one thing that happens through all this, especially if it's a, the ID thing can be sticky for some people, and those kinds of things. And we've seen there's CSAM things. Like the one where they were going to put CSAM checks on everybody's phone. There's been attempts at things that everybody's like, well, that's weird. We don't feel okay about that. Even if it is in the name of stomping, the privacy versus, taking care of exploitive materials and trying to get by that. It's sticky, and there's no
And that
answer,
happened-
and there's no good answer, and that's what we have to figure it out.
And I know Microsoft works directly with Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
Sure.
They have models that pretty much scour the internet and can look, at certain pixel matches. Like they can do some pretty impressive things, especially when you're like a Google or a Microsoft and you're pretty much trying to index the internet.
Mm-hmm.
They do have a lot of capability there, but you're putting technical people in charge of a technical thing.
Mm-hmm.
I do not trust the technical aptitude of our government, especially when you pull Facebook in and say you don't understand how they're making money
Mhm.
when they don't charge a fee.
Yeah, or they're going to go for these hearings and yeah,
Yep.
yeah, exactly. Or they're going to go on there and ask them about their email when they're talking to the CEO of Facebook again or whatever crap happened last time. So, that's the other thing. Are the hearings even functional in these matter with the I'll say it, the freaking clowns we have in government. So they're getting clownier every day. But we're not.
But so you're like, why am I going to tune in? I don't know if I want to watch Zuckerberg talk again because he's a robot.
Mm-hmm.
You have. I like this. I like that the article pointed this out. X's, what's her name? Linda. Is it Linda Yaccarino?
Yes.
Their CEO, who is very combative.
Okay.
Who will be part of this? Like one of her first interviews, very defensive about whether or not X was making money. So we could have some very interesting things beyond Robot Zuckerberg tomorrow.
Man, I hope he. I hope she just tells Congress to F off like Elon did the advertisers, because that's a good method.
It would be interesting because the law is very black and white.
Mm-hmm.
Legal matters are typically, if you're following the law or not. There's an opportunity for AI and a strict AI. Just upload, and I've heard like law firms and whatnot looking at this where you just or legal document review folks that I think there was a company that it would take a typical law clerk like something like 46 hours to proof a legal agreement document,
Mm-hmm.
and the AI can get like 96% of it complete within minutes,
Mm-hmm.
and then points out for. I mean, it would be interesting to have it like have an AI side by side with judge and jury.
or any of these issues, right? So everybody needs a little assistant here on something like this because manpower isn't it. It's you hear about the review groups that they've had for Facebook and just like talking about mental health earlier. Holy crap! I just look at sexually explicit material all day and decide whether it's good or bad, what to do about it. That's a brain job right there for definitely not enough money for whatever you're doing. So. Well, you know what? Let's bring this. Let's brighten this up again because somebody put in the document this Hello Kitty Iron Man. What is this? Where'd you find this?
Google.
It is a pink Iron Man. It's even got the Iron Man helmet, but with cat ears, holding
And the red bow.
and a red bow, holding a Hello Kitty. I don't know what I want the album art to be now. I'm conflicted right now. All right. Like, we got to bring this up a little bit. Apple Podcast is getting transcriptions. No, that's not a good follow up. So, Chilla, tell me about Pow World. Speaking of things you're playing with your kids, somebody put this over to me and said, "Oh, it's Pokemon." I think Kid Metal was talking about it last week, maybe. He's like, "It's Pokemon with guns and everything, right?" And it's just like, okay. And I looked it up. I watched a review on it, and it seems like a more complicated. Nintendo has decided to sue somebody. Surprise! Chilla, have you been hands on with this? This is in beta game preview. And I understand the Steam version is better than the Game Pass version because they're different versions of the game.
From my understanding, the Steam version is maybe like a version or something ahead. Mm-hmm. I've played them both because I'm ridiculous like that. Now, and I am not the Pow World Pro. Like, I know people, I've read articles where you could tell the person writing the article, it was the day after this came out, and it was like all they did for the last 36 hours was play this game. Mm-hmm. I probably only have maybe 6 to 8 hours in on this, and that takes into account, and something to warn you about, you can play co-op and the person can invite you into their level. I view it more like a Minecraft world with aspects of Minecraft, Pokemon. I'm trying to think what else we can.
Like, it's not a terribly exciting. Like, I heard Fortnite a little bit too because you're crafting and building things, right? There is I
view that as more as like the Minecraft thing. It's more more building, or to me, crafting like your crafting table in Minecraft. But like, we played for a couple hours, and then Christopher was like, "Okay, I'm done," and like logged out. And then like everything that I had done for the last multiple hours was gone. Mm-hmm. It's in his level, but I don't have access to his level when he doesn't have his level
so
active.
So the review I was watching about the Steam version,
it's not crossplay.
Yeah, it's not crossplay, but also like you get these Pokemons or these monster-looking animal characters, but then you put them to work on your farm after you beat them over the head with something to put them in the capture ball. So it's very like interesting with that. It's like, so you capture this and then you put them into servitude, and it's like, what? It was very, very peculiar, but it seems to work very well for something like this. This is an overly big game that you're going to spend a lot of time in, but and yeah, everything looks dangerously like a Pokemon. So
I mean, like you could, I would also, that's the other one. You could say it's like Fortnite with a Fortnite Lego piece, and I view Fortnite Lego as just an attack on Minecraft, but with a bit of it's like Minecraft with a bit of a storyline.
And this is the image that this is the biggest image that I think that are catching people's imagination are these sheep with Gatling guns. So because everybody's like, oh, it's like Pokemon with guns. I don't think you get to that really quick. I feel like that's something you build up to, and it's only one portion of the game.
And I'm pretty, like I said, like after probably a handful of hours, you're not at that point. Like I'm
No.
still building out my first base.
Yeah.
Like I don't have any fast travel pals. Like I will say what was working really well for me is I'm doing some remote play with Xbox alongside my Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'm sorry, alongside the Steam Deck, but because there's no cross-play, I'm trying to also keep going on both sides.
Yeah,
There is supposed to be a
double
cross-play
playing
after a while.
Yeah, again, this is preview. This is beta, game preview, whatever you call it. So there's a lot that still needs kind of implemented, right? So, but it's fascinating. It's catching people's attention. It's been downloaded like I don't know how many times. You say it's in beta on Steam. Is that a purchase over there? I guess I have it right here. Early access game.
It is a purchase, and it was I got it when it was X% off. So it's already up and.
Yeah, it's about $35. It's $35 with the game and soundtrack. The game itself is about $30 if you're interested on the Steam version of the game. And I understand the issues with the Game Pass. The Xbox is the same version if you get it through the Microsoft Store. So that's going to be the older build of the game that doesn't have as many things fixed. So it's a beta. If you want to hop into it, I think even though it's a better version on Steam. I feel like most people are just going to want to dip into it on the Xbox. You know what I mean? So
controls work pretty well, and I would say like for a beta, like I know they were saying, like if you did certain things, you could get stuck for forever. But I will say like other than maybe some walls clipping or how like if you back up all the way against the wall and you kind of turn your head, you can see to the other side of the wall if they haven't done a good job with that.
Yeah.
It's stuff like that. It's not like
so the answer.
Hey, this doesn't work.
The question we got to answer is if this comes to the Switch, is this Katie's new Animal Crossing?
I don't know.
No,
I've never done the Animal Crossing, but I will. I mean, like I don't know. It's a very fun, to me, relaxing game so far.
There you go. That sounds like Animal Crossing when you were playing it during the the Dark Ages.
The Dark Ages,
right?
Yeah, I guess, sorta. No guns and hitting things.
Yeah, it's just like Animal Crossing, but it's in 3D and you bonk them on the head first, right?
Smash. I mean, we were hitting each other with axes and stuff when we first started playing Animal Crossing. So yeah, I guess maybe it is the same thing.
There's that too. There you go. So we'll see how that rolls out there then. Anything else we want to touch on before we head out of here? Has anybody watched any videos about the Vision Pro? Actually, maybe that'll be a post-show thing. No, Chilla, you got to bolt out of here, huh? Chilla, have you?
I haven't seen. I haven't seen other than like some of the early stuff, not like stuff that's been in the last couple of days with people posting stuff.
Okay,
I will say. I mean, I will say, as I do find myself continuing to pick up the Quest 3 and use it. It's pretty darn good.
Is this the time for me to explore getting one of these helmets? One of these nerd helmets? I presume a Quest would be the one.
Yeah, I would, if it were me and I were you, I would wait for the Quest 3 to go on some kind of like little bit extra sale or figure out a way to get a little discount on it.
Okay.
I will say to me, the accuracy on the Quest 3 from a hand recognition and pass-through video quality is a lot higher than the Quest 2. I don't know anyone with the Pro. And there was too long of a line for the demo unit at a conference I was at. But from my understanding, the Pro has like the processor's not as good, and there's a couple other things, even though it has like the AR, some of the see-through stuff from what I understand. But I would go Quest. I would put down the money as an owner of the Quest 1, 2, and 3. I would put my money I would put my money away and wait for the 3.
It is currently, I have a 128 version here on Amazon that seems to be going for $499. So that is on the wish list, so I can price watch that one. Is that what I'm looking for?
Yes.
No time soon, I'm sure. I've got a busy few months, but
and I'll be honest with you, like I would look at the one thing I will say about the Quest 1, 2, and 3 that I hated about the Quest 1, 2, and 3 was the backstrap and the headset like type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually have is it the Oculus Vive? Who makes the Vive?
HTC.
HTC. I have the HTC aftermarket backstrap head unit with integrated headphones, and then a mod kit on the Quest 3 to allow me to use the one from the Quest 2 because they changed the strap connector.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say that makes also a vast difference in the utilization of the Quest, and that it's obviously like using some other brand's back piece.
We'll definitely have that. If this goes, I still have the Samsung Quest that you gave me ages ago with the S8. So I haven't played in a while. That battery's probably dead by now. I probably have to plug it in.
You can have my Go. I still have the Go. You can have that, but I don't think
the first one?
does anything anymore.
The first one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure this one barely has anything that works on it now. So, anyways, well, you know, we'll get nerd helmets eventually, I'm sure. So, but thank you, Chilla, John Chichilla at Chilla on the tweeters.
John Chichilla on the Facebooks.
And of course, the Dudders, Katie Dudas, with us as well. Social
Doing
media.
things.
Getting all kinds of calmer with her. Getting all headspacey.
Headspacey, yes. For all my braining things being different directions.
Yes, there you go. Anything big coming up that anybody should know about? I think it's kind of a calm weekend for most of us, right?
I'm looking at my calendar. I'm like, what do I have happening?
The Hockey All-Star game and the Pro Bowl, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that's this weekend.
Ooh. I'll be in Ann Arbor, Michigan as of Sunday. Apparently, last minute booking the last couple of weeks, by the way. So that's going to be fun. I'll be out there for most of next week. Like I said, I'll be reporting from a hotel room in some fashion, and we're going to get the logistics here worked out this week. So you'll still get your show, and you'll still get super zoomy Chilla going on there too. So I'm at Sorgatron on the internet webs. Thank you, everybody. Stay tuned for the Patreon, where I don't know. I think I have something for us to look at, Katie. I think we're going to deep dive some stuff. We're going to deep dive the ChatGPT store because I haven't done a full explore on it, and I want you to help me look for things to do with it. Okay.
Yes,
so there you go. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. You have been our awesome audience. Have an awesome week. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at Sorgatron.